Hey, it's Tony here at Smart Toyota. Today's vehicle video, check it out. This is the very top of the line, and this one is loaded 2022 Toyota Highlander Hybrid. This one is, and it is the Platinum Edition. Ruby Flare Pearl is the color on this one. Great color, extra charge. In this video, we're going to walk around the exterior, and then we'll dive inside. We'll check out some of the interior features on the 2022 Platinum Edition Hybrid Highlander. Let's get started. So I'm going to start out on this one with it. It's actually running right now, so you might hear the fan turn on and off. It is a hybrid, so it will turn the engine on and off, the gas engine, as needed. Right now it's in electric mode. But I wanted to show you the headlight assembly here. So this is a full complement of LED headlights, and those are projector LEDs, and then we have traditional LED driving lights. There's also LED daytime running lights. That's these strips right along the bottom, and then an LED side marker lamp. Also, they have the LED fog lights down here on the lower bumper. Let me go ahead and I'll just turn those on so you can see what those look like. The fog lights only operate in the low beam position, and then I'll also turn on the emergency lights here so you can see those as well. So you can see LED indicators, turn signals here in the outside mirrors, and then we've got the amber turn signals here, and there's those LED fog lights down on the lower bumper. So a really nice complement, and those are adaptive headlights, so they actually adjust themselves up and down as you need to, and they also light up the side quite nicely as well. You can see the LED indicators there on the mirrors, and then I'll walk around back here. LED side marker lights here. There's your amber turn signals, and then your LED tail lamps. Also, there's a third brake light up here, which is LED as well. And then down here, we've got our license plate lamps as well. So a nice bright LED lighting package on the Highlander for 2022. Let's go ahead back up front here. I just want to talk a little bit about the front grille and the front bumper assembly. So the Platinum Edition does have the chrome surround on the grille with, of course, because it's a hybrid, the blue Toyota badging, and then the gloss black grille here. And there's active grille shutters behind there that allow the wind or air to flow as needed to cool the engine. Also, we have our panoramic camera up front here. We also have parking sensors and assist, and it does have automatic braking, so that when you're getting too close, it'll actually hit the brakes for you. I experience that all the time when I'm going into the car wash. It'll automatically brake so I don't run into the agitators in the car wash. There's a silver painted piece of trim down on the lower fascia as well, and then we'll also see that when we swing around to the back, the silver fascia. Kind of a sculpted hood, pretty subtle, but this actually is concave here, but when you stand back it looks like it actually bows out, but it's not. It's not convex, it's concave. There's two big words for you. So as we slide around to the side here, we'll take a look at the wheel and the tire setup. So Platinum Edition does come standard with the 20-inch silver painted alloy wheels, and this tire on here is more of a road tire, so it's going to be a smoother ride. Definitely not an off-road tire. So we have a fully independent front suspension, McPherson struts with a stabilizer bar, matte black finish on the over fenders. The front disc brakes, those are a 13.3 ventilated disc brakes, twin piston calipers. Of course, we have anti-lock brakes, traction control, stability control. This is your all-wheel drive edition, so the all-wheel drive badging. Integrated mud guards from the factory front and rear. Colored to match outside mirrors, LED turn signals I mentioned before. Folding, as well as breakaway mirrors. We also have built into the mirrors heating elements, blind spot monitoring, and these are power operated, of course. There's a gloss black A-pillar here, and then chrome trim up and around the windows. Gloss black trim here. Privacy glass on all of your back windows, including your tailgate. Now this one does have the cross rail system, so that's an extra charge, but it does come with the silver painted rail system, so you can get those attachments after you buy the vehicle, but these are factory cross rails. And then of course the Platinum Edition does have the panoramic moonroof. We'll take a closer look at that when we go inside. Colored to match a shark fin antenna up top. Nice solid aggressive stance. Matte black finish down here on the lower trim that matches with the over the fenders there. We've got chrome badging for hybrid, platinum, and then this one has the added, this is going to be an extra charge, chrome sill protector there. Now we do have the high mounted spoiler up here with that LED brake light I talked about, rear window defrost, privacy glass, rear washer wiper. And then this one does have actually two cameras up under the license plate there, one for backup and one for the panoramic view. And then we have the Highlander in chrome, parking sensors here on the bumper, and then the lower painted silver fascia here. These here are reflectors on the lower part of the bumper on both sides, so those don't light up. And then this one does have the factory installed trailer towing package with the step here, which makes it super easy to get up on top. And it's pre-wired here with the 4-pin. And the towing capacity on this with the hybrid, the 4-cylinder hybrid, is going to be 3,500 pounds. The nice part about getting the factory hitch pre-installed is you still maintain the ability to kick your foot underneath there and open that up. Now it won't work right now because I've got it running, but if you have that put on aftermarket, you're going to miss out on that feature. So I strongly recommend having it installed at the factory and taking advantage of that kick sensor to open and close. Gas doors right here on the driver's side. That's a 17-gallon fuel tank. The fuel economy on this is 35 miles per gallon combined city and highway. And again, this is going to be the hybrid edition, so it's a 4-cylinder, 35 miles per gallon out of this huge SUV is really fantastic. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and take a look at the engine. So diving under the hood on the hybrid, this is going to be Toyota's gasoline electric combination, so the hybrid. A 2.5 liter 4-cylinder 16-valve gasoline engine with variable valve timing. It's connected to a CVT automatic transmission, and then of course as a hybrid you've got all your hybrid componentry over on this side. So there's 2 electric motors up front to power the 2 front wheels, and then there's 1 electric motor in the rear to power the rear wheels for the all-wheel drive. So the way that works is, for the most part, the Highlander is going to be a front-wheel drive vehicle, and then when needed it will engage the rear electric motor for the all-wheel drive system, and that's really what helps it get the great gas mileage it needs. You do not need to power the rear wheels when in normal driving conditions, but when the roads get rough, it helps to have that additional electric motor in the back. So the engine and the transmission, the CVT transmission, have a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty, no deductible. And then as far as the hybrid system, Well, the hybrid system, that has 2 warranties. So there's an 8-year, 100,000 mile warranty on the mechanics of the hybrid system, so the motors and the wiring and all of that. And then there's a 10-year, 150,000 mile warranty on the battery. So 10 years, 150,000 miles, that's how confident Toyota is in their hybrid system and that battery for sure. Also included is Toyota Care. So Toyota Care is a complimentary maintenance program that covers your oil changes, all of your fluid top-offs, and your tire rotations. So anything that Toyota recommends, say in the first 2 years, 25,000 miles, is with regards to maintenance, they're going to cover that. And that for sure is going to save you hundreds of dollars over the first 2 years of ownership. So a really great warranty program. And if you bring the car by here to get your maintenance done, we also include a complimentary car wash here at Smart Toyota in Madison. So let's go ahead and jump into the inside and check it out. Diving into the driver's side here, we'll just quickly stop on the door. I just want to point out some of the features here. So it's basically all black or charcoal gray is the color. And the interesting thing about the Platinum Edition is it has this gray silver wood applique. We'll see that on the inside as well. It's fake, but it does look really nice on there. Chrome door handle, brushed aluminum trim down here. We do have memory driver's seat, 2-position, power mirrors, power door locks with 1 touch up and down, and they are backlit. Also, there's pockets down on the doors, bottle holders, speakers. This one does have the JBL audio system, so there's 11 speakers. There's a puddle light down here, but then there's also an additional one that has an animation underneath the mirrors right there. And so there's also sensor or cameras under the mirrors. But what that does is it actually projects down on the ground at night the Highlander logo so that you don't step into a big puddle. So that's kind of nice. When you hit the remote keyless entry, that'll illuminate. And then down on the threshold, this is a brushed aluminum trim here, but there's also an LED strip light there to illuminate the entry. The seats on the Platinum Edition, full power seats with recliner, power lumbar support, 2-position on the driver's side. These are going to be a leather seat. They're perforated, they're heated, and they're also ventilated. So a really nice, comfortable seat. Height adjustable headrest, height adjustable seat belts, and the airbags are mounted right into the seat, so the airbags actually move with you. There are 8 airbags on the Highlander. Over here on the dashboard, we see some faux carbon fiber here. That looks nice. This is a padded dashboard. It's actually stitched. There's some brushed aluminum trim here, so a lot of nice attention to detail. Odometer, dimmer switch for the dash lights. We have automatic high beams, 360 view. This is our 120 volt on and off switch for back in the trunk. Power tailgate or lift gate, heated steering wheel control, and front windshield wiper de-icer. And then down here we have a small storage cubby for your pocket change or your wallet or what have you. We do have a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. It's not power, but it's nice to have that for sure. Let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the interior. Behind the wheel on the Platinum Edition, the steering wheel is leather wrapped. Also a heated steering wheel, as I mentioned earlier. Standard fingertip controls on the left-hand side here. So you've got cruise control, dynamic radar cruise control adjustment. That's where you can set the distance with which it activates. Lane tracing assist or lane departure assist. Radio stations can be changed right here. Up on the right-hand side, we've got our rear washer and wiper control, and then our front washer and wiper controls are here as well. And then, of course, in the center, we have an airbag kind of that gloss black or that piano black trim that Toyota uses on a lot of different models. They also use it up here in the gauge cluster as well. Over on the left hand side, we've got fingertip controls for the information center. That's located up here in the gauge cluster. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Bluetooth connectivity for your smartphone, voice activation, and then you can adjust the volume on the sound system with your fingertips as well right there. They also have some of this brushed aluminum trim that we saw earlier on the doors, so they kind of tie that in throughout the interior. Here's our gauge cluster. I've got it shut off right now, but I wanted to show you that it's kind of like a sort of like a chronograph style. So when I turn it on, you'll really see the big difference. And there's that information center smack dab in the middle. So this is the Platinum Edition. It does have the smart keyless entry system. So push button start. Just got to make sure you put your foot on the brake, and then you can start it up. Now, because this is a hybrid, the engine may or may not start right away, the gas engine. Just depends on if the vehicle thinks it needs the gas engine to start up. So I'm going to turn on the heat here because, number one, it's cold outside, but it'll also likely engage the engine, which of course it did. And so you don't have to turn it on to have the heat on, but initially to get the battery up and running, everything charging, get the heating and air conditioning fully functional, it will start the engine initially, but then it will shut it off when it's able to sustain the temperature on its own. So I'm going to see if I can cover up this light here a little bit, kind of show you the gauge cluster. So on the left is the energy monitoring system for the hybrid Synergy, engine temperature gauge. Here's that information center. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And then on the right hand side is our analog speedometer and our fuel gauge, and then the fuel door is on the driver's side as well. Go ahead and just turn this down a little bit. There we go. So the information center here is the largest one that they offer on the Highlander, and there's a lot of information in here, some really great stuff. For example, outside temperature. There's a clock in here. There's a seatbelt status indicator right here. It tells you if everybody's got their seatbelts on. And then over here are all the personalization settings. So if you wanted to say change your fuel economy settings, you can go down here on the steering wheel, use your thumb, and then you can kind of scroll through and toggle through the different options. So there's your driver support system with a compass, sound system settings. There's your energy monitoring system for your hybrid system, and also it does a tire pressure scan, so you've got tire pressure monitors, or all-wheel drive engagement. And then here's all those safety settings, so pre-collision, blind spot monitoring, parking assist, rear cross traffic alert. Tells you what's working and what's not. And then if we go down the list, we can personalize it for our own liking. So if you don't like the blind spot monitoring, you turn it on and off. If you don't like parking assist, you can turn it on and off. So it's kind of nice to be able to personalize it for your own preferences. And then back around to the fuel economy or the fuel calculator, so it keeps track of a lot of great things. And then it also has a digital speedometer, so 2 speedometers on this as well. So we'll swing over and take a look at our center stack. So the Platinum Edition does have the largest center stack with the largest screen you can get. There's virtual controls right here, and this is for your heated seats, your ventilated seats. So you can adjust everything using the virtual controls, your sound system, all kinds of information available using the virtual controls. Now, it's a little bit redundant because here's your heating and air conditioning, so you can set the temperature up to whatever you like. But there's also physical buttons down here that do the exact same thing, so it's a little bit redundant in my mind. I don't quite understand why Toyota did the same thing like 3 inches apart, but I kind of get the sense that they had this big screen and then they said to themselves, well, what should we put in it? And that's when they put all the virtual controls in there. Some people like to use those, others don't. But the Platinum Edition does come with the dynamic navigation, so that's over here on this side. But if you prefer, you can move it over and push it over to the other side. So that's a kind of a nice feature to be able to rearrange that however you want, whatever your preference is. And then they added some additional physical buttons down here for your menu system. If you go in here, you can see we have Sirius Satellite Radio, XM Radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So all of those things are standard on the Platinum Edition. As we go down into the physical buttons, so we've got our volume for our sound system here, our tuner for our sound system. We've got our heated seats for the passenger side, ventilated seats for the passenger side, front window defrost, rear window defrost, and we also have heated outside mirrors, and we also have the electronic front window de-icer as well. Driver's side heated and ventilated seats are here. Turn some of this off, shut down the noise, if you will. Vents here, emergency switch here. There's a small package shelf here, which has a pass-through door, so it allows you to thread your smartphone cables up through here, because down below there is where they added the USB ports. 2 USB-Cs, they're backlit, 1 standard USB port, and then a 12-volt outlet over here. So you've got 4 here, and in a minute I'll show you the 5th one under the armrest. I'm going to go ahead and shift it into reverse so you can see your backup camera. So this is, as I mentioned, this is your panoramic setup. So you can change your perspective here. Here's your overhead view of the vehicle so you can see what's going on over there. And then if you want, there's a switch way over here on the dash. If I tap that, it'll do a perimeter scan. I'm just going to go ahead and... Oh, I wanted to show you on the backup camera the cross lines that are on there as well. So it's really good visibility out the back. I'll throw it in park, and that's when it will, if I tap the view button over here, it'll do that 360-degree perimeter scan. You can stop it, you can play it, you can look out the back and kind of look around the vehicle, but you can't move it when it starts doing its deal. It just does whatever it wants to do. It does have this feature up here where you can tap and you can change the color of the vehicle. That spins around, so that's a white one. The one I'm in is Ruby Flare Pearl, so I switch it over to that. So you can change the color of the car if you want. I don't know if I care for that or not. It makes no difference to me what the color of it is. So here in the center console, they've got more of that gray wood trim here. I like that. I think it looks really nice, especially with this brushed aluminum trim around the cup holders. Got a leather wrap shifter here. Here's our electronic parking brake hold. Here's our drive mode. So you've got an eco, normal, and a sport mode, and that simply changes the shift patterns in the CVT transmission to give you more of a sport feel when you punch it. It does make a difference, though. I do know the sport mode really does make a difference in the acceleration. Traction control on and off here. EV mode. EV mode's an interesting mode. This is not an electric vehicle per se, but with EV mode it allows you to drive the vehicle short distances without starting the engine. So that can come in really handy if you're pulling out of your garage at night and you don't want to start the vehicle because you don't want to disturb anybody. Hit the EV mode and allow you to go short distances. Or if you're sitting in a parking lot or in the garage and you want to finish up that podcast, you can tap EV. It shuts off the gas mode and it runs just off electricity or the battery. So that's a nice feature, but it's not designed to drive the vehicle at higher speeds, simply as an auxiliary power when parking or backing out of taking small drives out of a driveway or something like that. And then here's our trail mode, which gives us a little bit more of an off-road capability. But I will say the Platinum is a luxury vehicle, so it's not your full-time off-road four-wheel drive vehicle. If you want something like that, you might want to consider a 4Runner or maybe the RAV4. Now, the interesting thing about this center console is it is wrapped with Softech fabric all the way around, and it's stitched all the way around too, so it feels really nice and upscale when you're sitting here. It doesn't feel generic. The fit and the finish is really nice. The armrest is interesting because it doesn't open like a door, like a lid. It actually is like a roll top desk. So there's a button here. When you push it, it rolls back into the armrest. And the thing I like about that is you can have it open without having the, in your way, that kind of thing. But the first thing you find when you open the armrest here is the wireless charging system for your smartphone. And there's a switch right here to turn it on. And then when you drop your smartphone on there, it will automatically begin to charge it, assuming your smartphone is a wireless charging capable phone. So that's a nice feature. I don't know if I like where it's at, because you've got your arm right here, but it does still have an armrest even though that's open. And if you close it and the phone rings, it's kind of tricky to get it out of there real quick. Now, you can connect it Bluetooth to the vehicle, which is something I do on my own cars, but some people don't like the Bluetooth. They like to be able to pick up the phone and use it. So I think they should have a better place for this. And actually in the 2022 Tundra, it sits like right here on the charger, and so you can reach for it if you just want to grab the phone and go. So I guess different strokes for different folks, but I'd like to see them move it out of this area so it's easier to access. And then underneath here is your storage compartment. There's an odds and ends tray that comes with it. And then there's another 12-volt outlet way down underneath there. Don't know if you can see it in the video. So you have a grand total of, 4, 5, 6 different ways to charge your devices or plug in when you're up here in the front seat. So if you need more than that, you probably want to leave a device or two behind. And these are the heated, ventilated seats. Really a nice, comfortable seat. They are leather. That's not Softech. The headrests are Softech, but the actual seating surfaces are all leather. Here's a look at the passenger side. You can see that brushed aluminum trim on the door handles. The dashboard has this faux carbon fiber trim that kind of goes all the way across. It looks really nice on here. Decide for yourself. Let me know in the comments if you like the style of it. This is a little bit different than you're going to find on, say, an XLE or an LE, a little more upscale. Padded dashboard. It's wrapped with the Softech fabric. There's another little cubby over here to be able to throw your stuff. And then we've got a full-size glove box with a key lock on there, so you can put your stuff in there, lock it up, and try to keep it secure. There's an airbag here in the dash. There's also side curtain airbags, passenger assist grips up top, lighted vanity mirrors on front driver and front passenger. This does have the JBL audio system with 11 speakers, so there's additional speaker up here, and then there's another one over here. So you do have extra speakers in the dashboard as well. Overall, a really comfortable, high quality, definitely an upscale feel in the Platinum Edition. Let's go ahead and jump in the back seat and check that out. So jumping into the back seat, I just want to spend just a minute or two here on the rear door. Very similar to what we saw up front with the wood trim and the chrome door handle, the pockets, the speakers, all very similar, padded with the Softech fabric. But then the back seats also have these manual shades. So if you've got a little one sitting in the back seat in a car seat with the tinted windows in the shade, you're going to be able to get them out of the sunshine. They'll really appreciate that. On the threshold here, they've got an oversized step here, so it's easy for the kids to get in and out. The hybrid battery is underneath the seat here, and that's what these vents are for. And then the Platinum Edition does come standard with the captain's chairs, and then there's a 3-person bench in the back. Now the seat's interesting. It does slide forward and backwards. We can also drop it down like this so that we have more cargo room. But if we want to get the kiddos in and out of the back seat, there's a handle here, and you can slide it back and forth, and then they can kind of work their way up into the back seat. Those are your all-weather floor mats. We'll jump in the back seat here in just a second. These seats are perforated. They're not heated, and they also, they are heated. My bad. So they are heated, but I know they're not ventilated, but they are super comfortable. They're leather seats. Let's go ahead and jump in the seat here. Check out the interior. There is a lot of legroom behind these seats, and I've got this front seat here almost all the way back. Pockets on both seats. Down here we have our automatic air conditioning, so they can set their own temperatures. Heated seats, 3 temperature. USB ports, and 120 volt, 1500 watt power outlet, so kids can plug in their electronics back here. Here's that panoramic moonroof. Looks awesome. There are some vents up here for the heating and air conditioning, and there's also lights back here, passenger assist grips, and dry cleaning hooks as well. Here's a quick look up front. Kind of what you can see from the back seat. Visibility is good out the back seat. This panoramic moonroof really opens it up, adds a lot of additional light into the back seat, so your back seat passengers will really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and pop the trunk and take a look in the hatch. Here at the back of the Platinum Highlander, we do have the kick sensor, so you can just wipe your feet underneath there and that'll open the tailgate. Again, if you're getting that trailer towing hitch, get it from the factory, and that way that sensor works the way it should. If you do it aftermarket, there's no guarantee. There's also a button here you can push to close it, and then you can also adjust the height of which that opens, so if you have a lower garage, it won't hit the top of your garage. On the door here, there's 2 speakers, and that's part of your JBL audio system. Now this one does have the all-weather floor liners package, so that's this high quality floor mats. Underneath here is where we've got our cargo cover kind of stowed away, tool kit, and then you can also lower your spare tire underneath here, and gives you a little bit of storage underneath there as well. Over on the left, we've got our 120 volt outlet. Here's our subwoofer for our JBL audio system. I did fold down 40% of the seat just to give you an example of how much space is back here. So with the seats all the way down, all of them, it's 84 cubic feet, so about 84 basketballs. Behind this seat right here, it's about 16, so you could get like 16 basketballs behind the rear seat. And then these seats fold down fairly easily. You just grab the tab right there. You'll notice when I bring it down, the headrest drops, and then the seat's folded down like that. There's cup holders right here, tie down hooks in the back seat, vents for your back seat passenger for the heating and air conditioning, and then more cup holders over on that side over there. So a lot of great room, super practical. 3 passenger bench in the back seat there, so that comes in handy. And then once again, you can just kick your foot underneath there and the tailgate will load down. Sorry for my hand, I'm just trying to block off the reflection of the sun. Okay, so that's the 2022 Toyota Highlander Hybrid Platinum Edition. Top of the line in the Highlander. Hey, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this vehicle or the video, please let me know in the comments. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. And if you want more like this, be sure to subscribe. And feel free to share it with your friends and family. This is Tony here at Smart Toyota. Thanks for watching.